Evening, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? So, what a day! What a day! Market is still ripping new all-time highs. Um, Lesson freaking learned, bro. Don't fight all-time highs. As as good as a short can look like, don't fight all-time highs. Don't fight all-time highs. I learned my lesson, and today I took a loss followed by a small loss and then a big loss. So you could see it as like a loss, a break even, and a loss. But I hit my DLL, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because I was ready to keep trading. Like when my last trade got stopped out, I was about to click the next buy or sell button. I can't even remember what it was on that one, but I was ready, bro. I was ready, and then I saw the auto liquidation for DLL. I'm like, good. I'm glad that happened because I was like, wow, I just caught myself trying to trade still. I was not thinking clearly at that point. Clearly, after three losses, I'm done. Um, yeah, I'm glad I put in that daily loss limit. Gonna keep it there. We now have like $350 left on the account. Like of drawdown left to bring it back. Which can we can probably do like two $150 trades or just a $350 trade off the bat and try to recover the account with a single trade, but it's gonna have to be a really good setup. So yeah, um, thought process today, or at least the lesson that I learned from today: when we're all time highs, wait for a key level to get hit, trade off of that, right? Just wait for a key level to hit, and then look for longs. You could have done that today. Maybe caught a break even followed by a winning trade. Then I'll go over the trades that I took and some trades that you could have taken that were more ideal. So, previous day's range stat is technically bullish. I mean, we gapped up above Friday's high on Monday, so it wasn't really a sweep, but it does still count as bullish. Trudy Open is below us and got traded through in London, but there was a 69% chance that we hit that. So, yeah. I also noticed that we respected this low volume node on the high time frame, right? On I think this is from weekly open to where we're now. There was a low volume node here. London traded into it, respected it, and ripped, right? And pre-market made new all-time highs. Even at like 9, like I remember seeing this on Bookmap. We ripped before open in pre-market, and then yeah, is it was looking good. I mean, it was looking good at first for shorts because we put in an SMT off open where ES didn't make any all-time high and NQ did. Not only that, um, I did mention that we were gonna have to be really patient and careful. We don't want to short this unless it's crystal clear. And then that's where I noticed the following. If I can find it, right here. This is what Bookmap looked like to me in what's it called? I forgot what I was gonna say. This is what Bookmap looked like when we were right after open. So we had a lot of failed buying, right? So this was around the 84 level. Like that was one of our last bit of failed buying before aggressive sellers stepped in. And like I noticed, like we had failed buying, and then our CVD started heading lower. So we made lower high, lower high, lower low, lower. Like our CVD was starting lower. I'm like, cool, it's looking good to trade towards that true day. I entered, got a horrible fill, and then I think it started to look good for a bit. Got really close to my stop, and then we hit that first target. I think I trailed my stop here, if I'm not mistaken. Trailed my stop to there, and then this happened. Insane volume came in out of nowhere because it wasn't even the 10 a.m. open candle. Um, I don't think there was probably like some news with like Nvidia. I think there were a lot of news today, but I think that started at noon today actually. So I don't not entirely sure what fueled that move. Was just very aggressive, stopped me out pretty quickly. Should have gone break even once we hit this 50-minute gap, and yeah, had that marked out, and still did not go break even once we hit that. So that's on me, right? Because I've noted in the past that whenever I'm shorting all-time highs, I gotta be extremely aggressive with my trailing, partialing, and all that kind of stuff. Even if it's not a good RR, even if it's not in structure, right? Ideally, you want it to be in structure, and I think I did think about it. Like maybe let's trail in the 1 minute, right? I could have trailed to here, would have been stopped out at break even. That would have been fine, but no. And then when I saw this candle printing, I figured that was gonna be just a fake out. So I entered the next short, which was, let me double check really quick. hmm The short actually looked good for a bit. So my entry on the short was 53.50, and I had my stop at the 90s because on MNQ, that was where it actually, took place. Like the wick formed at the 90s, and yeah, it looked to me like it was a fake out. Okay, we swept this high, internal high. We could still trade towards true day. To me, it looked like there was still a failed buying up here. Um, but honestly, I should have waited for clear confirmation after the sweep, because still we're fighting all time highs, right? So our new all time high is all the way up here. Um, Swept an internal high, or like, okay, maybe scale down to the 3 minute, right? What's our VWAP telling us, right? Our VWAP is right here. Our VWAP, it looks like we were trying to get above it, failed, trying to get above it again. Okay, cool. Looks like we want to get below it. What's the 5 minute looking like? Okay, maybe this was the entry, right? Stop at this wick. This would have been the ideal entry. And maybe just target that first target, that 1 hour FEG. You could target true day for a better RR, but I know for a fact this trade plays out without stopping you out. But that wasn't the case for me. I have my entry here, and in the process of this candle forming, it looked to me. So another thing that I noticed here was that we had a low volume node, internal low volume node created off of this impulsive move, right? And I reverted my position. So I reverted my position, and my entry was horrible once again. Um, so my entry was at this candle, um, and I was targeting, I think, past all time highs. I think I was targeting like a fib extension of the IB, because at this point our IB, 45-minute IB has set for sure, and our 1 hour IB is pretty close to setting, so we can actually keep it here, and then just do initial balance. And I was targeting. Let me double check what my entry was. My entry on the long was 63. So 63 flat was my entry. Like I inverted my position, and just I even like doubled down on my size, which was awful. My stop was 34. TP was at 127. So TP was 127.50 actually, because it was a 0.5. So I was going for a 2R, and I ended up getting stuffed out immediately. But once again, if we go back to that original trade idea, which was what was it? The short here, right? If you were just patient, unlike me, you waited for the VWAP break, the New York VWAP break, right? Like a clear break on the 5 minute after a retest here, because we broke below it, right? Retesting it, seems like we want to hold above it, and then we finally fail, right? You're like, okay, want to go for the IB low. Even just going for this, that's a 1-to-1. Not the best, but let's say, okay, I want to trade into this. I want to see this gap get filled. I want to see us break aggressively through this. And then we get this. Looks like we're rejecting overnight VWAP. Okay, looks like we're holding. Alright, getting pretty close to our target here. Maybe you close down there. Maybe. Maybe you were going to say, like, okay, I want to go break even, right? Let's just wait and see. Maybe you trail to here, you stop there, like, we could still retest our VWAPs. We've broken below them, and we haven't quite retested them. You could see this candle, this little candle right here, as a retest of VWAP. To me, that's not really a clear retest. It's an internal retest, but in terms of, like, the 5-minute structure, we haven't quite gotten a clear retest. And then you're like, okay, our level didn't actually get hit. That's 26,008.25, and the low of this candle was 26,008.75. So like 2 ticks off. You're like, maybe you want to take it off there. That's fine, right? And then what happens here? Okay, kind of the point of control. We get a retest here. The VWAP, very clean retest, right? Maybe you want to trail to here, valid. But I know for a fact this gets swapped out. So maybe you're like, I want to see, follow through with the retest. Then we retest it again, start to fail. Okay, continue to retest it, kind of hesitating a little bit, kind of sustaining above the overnight VWAP. Maybe you want to get aggressive here with your trailing because we're at overnight VWAP that we held once, and then we got below it, got back below it, retested it, held, and then it looks like we're failing to break past it. So maybe you're like, okay, I want to trail now, right? Because we're at overnight VWAP. We could sustain here, right? And target hit. Now, this is a 186R. This was like the ideal short setup, and it's not like 100% ideal, considering that we are at all-time highs. I fought all-time highs. Gotta be transparent about it. I fought all-time highs, and I learned my lesson, right? We also have FOMC coming up. We had earnings after the bell today. At this point, there were news coming out about Nvidia partnering up with Palantir, and there was just an Nvidia event today. Nvidia was pretty much the market today, and yeah, if you put the Nvidia and let me see if I can find it actually. Like, these look very similar, both Nvidia and NQ, and you'll see later in the day how these two look exactly the same. But let's say you were not an idiot like myself, and you waited for a key level to get hit. What did we do here? We retested previous day's high, got pretty close to that hourly gap. You're like, I want to wait for a retest there. Maybe you got in as the candle was turning green, okay, and then maybe you get your stop, like, maybe you go for a fixed 25-point stop, giving it a bit of breathing room below that low, and then you're going for the IP high break, right, making a new all-time high. I know for a fact this plays out. You get TP, and this is where news came in about Nvidia partnering up with Palantir, and then also some news regarding like the president of China meeting up with Trump. Just a bunch of different news there. And if you see, like, if you just put the charts side by side, you notice like Nvidia and NQ pretty much behaved the exact same today. So that's pretty interesting, like how both of these just, they look exactly the same, right? Like, look at that. They look exactly the same. That's something that my mentor pointed out to me. I'm like, interesting. I'm pretty new to like watching stocks. That's something I gotta get more used to. Um, so yeah, because Nasdaq is tech heavy, right? Like ES was looking really good for shorts today, up until we reached this zone. That's another thing, right? When NQ hit this level, ES dug deeper into a support level, which was just a bunch of 50-minute for value gaps. Also swept, retested Asia high and swept through the open. Like, At this point, I had already been locked out of my account, but if you took the trade, that was like probably the ideal trade of the day. We held overnight VWAP, retested it, and held it again. Tapped into a key level. Uh, All-time highest context is in our favor. Earnings reports this week is kind of like a pretty much. I want to say it's a bullish context clue. The expected rate cut tomorrow is another context clue. So yeah, now we have 350 ish bucks left in our account of drawdown to work with. Yeah, it is what it is. I just had to learn my lesson through experience. Unfortunately, had to learn the lesson, and it's something that I've known in the past. Like when it comes to all-time highs, you don't want to be bearish. You don't want to be bearish. It's better to sit it out if it's not clear to you. If you like prefer to wait, like let's say you were trading London and you're like, okay, we're at all-time highs. Like we can trade towards all-time highs. Cool, right? But here, like you're trading towards a freshly made all-time high, like a new all-time high that we just made. So like all-time highs is you want to continue to be bullish until proven otherwise. I feel like this price action doesn't prove you to be bearish. Like it's not that much of a move down, honestly. Like 80 points. Sure, you could have capitalized on some of that move, but you would have had to top tick the all-time high. So, and that's pretty rough to pull off with any strategy, in my opinion. Even with order flow, it's pretty rough to call because the confluences that I had in my favor with order flow were really good, but but the all-time highest context holds a lot of weight. So and that's something that I also learned from Carmine Rosado, is if you see this at a resistance level or supply level or just a key resistance level, depending on what your strategy is. It could be high time frame bearish for rally gap, or maybe it's above a previous day high sweep, like something, right? That gives you a high time frame bearish context or bearish confluence. Then it would be better because you're not trading against all time highs, right? But with all time highs, we know what happens. We keep making new all-time highs, so you want to stay bullish. So yeah, I've learned my lesson. Gonna try to keep it cool, keep it calm. See if we can keep it calm and collected, and see if we can make some profit tomorrow. Right? Might be a very slow day. We do have key earnings reports tomorrow. I believe it is. If this loads up really quick. There we go. Tomorrow we have Microsoft, Meta, Google, Starbeast. But yeah, a lot of news earnings reports tomorrow. Before open, have a couple. General Electric. That's yeah, but mainly focusing on Microsoft, Meta, and Google. Pretty big earnings reports, and then on Thursday we also have Amazon, Apple, Coinbase. So yeah, pretty freaking big earning reports, and then we also have FOMC in the afternoon. So yeah, crazy day tomorrow. Crazy day. Gonna have to be really patient, very picky. Want to be done before FOMC for sure. Don't want to be involved in that volatility. I did get the intrusive thought to trade FOMC. Not gonna do it. And you can call me out on this. You can call me out if I do. If you see me with the tomorrow's trade recap saying, hey, I traded FOMC and recovered my account, call me out. Even if I did well, call me out. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the trading day for today. Had a good short setup and doubted myself. Tried to catch along, got cooked immediately. So yeah. That pretty much wraps it up for today. And now what we're gonna have to do is just try to recover the account. If we don't, we'll just start a new one. It's all good. Alright? So hopefully I'll catch y'all tomorrow with the banger trade. If not Thursday, if not Friday, but hopefully a banger trade that helps me recover the account soon. Alright? I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.